Yep, you saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I'm gonna review the Wit Studio movie Bubble. Not to be confused with The Bubble, but Bubble. Netflix are marketing masters. So what is up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you another anime review. All right, so I checked out the new Netflix movie Bubble, and it's an anime movie. It's done by Wit Studio, and it's Netflix. And I'm like, okay, why isn't there more word of mouth about this? When the trailer came out, it was buzz. Oh, maybe because Netflix and all their infinite marketing wisdom decided to release a movie called Bubble right around the same time, right after The Bubble, starring the dude from Key and Peele. So now there is a bunch of confusion as to which one you're talking about. You're talking about the Bubble or Bubble? Are you talking about the baby or Lil Baby? This marketing confusion. Like, why? But so far, we're not really talking about Netflix in this movie. We're talking about the quality of the movie itself. And of course, I have to say, from a quality perspective, we're in for a pretty interesting spectacle. Now, of course, if you want to continue getting videos like this from me, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button. Specifically comment, because that helps the algorithm, and I also want to talk to you. I want to hear your opinions about what I talk about. I talk about stuff to start conversations with you, man. Do all that stuff YouTube requires you to do in order to continue getting my videos. Alright, so Bubble follows the story of Ibiki. He is the main character in the movie, and he lives in a post-apocalyptic version of Tokyo. Not so much like the last reviews I did about people living in post-apocalyptic London. I don't know what it is about post-apocalypse nowadays, but people seem to really want to make stories about it. So Outtro suffers from a disorder by the name of hyperacusis, which essentially gives you kind of like Superman hearing, which you would think that's a good thing, but in actuality, sounds that are normal to us are actually really loud and downright painful sometimes to people who have hyperacusis. So he always wears earphones, and he's kind of standoffish, but it's not really because he hates everybody, it's because everything is really loud. And of course, he gets into Tokyo Battlecore, which is this parkour that him and the other orphans do throughout the busted up city of Tokyo. And his hyperacusis allows him to hear a specific sound from the bubbles that sound like a song that only he can hear. Of course, in doing Tokyo Battlecore, he almost dies, which is where he meets a young girl by the name of Outtro, well, let's just say she has some pretty interesting connections to what happened to Tokyo. So Tokyo was destroyed by what is called the bubble fall, and essentially millions upon millions of bubbles fell into Tokyo. And of course, when a bubble pops, it turns into water, and all that water flooded out and destroyed Tokyo, and everybody left with the exception of orphans who were orphaned in a disaster, and they just decided to stay because what else are they going to do? They're orphans. And they participate in these extreme parkour team matches, which in itself are actually pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And they bring kind of a sports anime vibe to this because it has all your sports anime hallmarks. It has, the one team of main characters that you follow versus another team. There's a villainous team. It has all that kind of stuff in it, and that's kind of one of the problems with this. Is this movie kind of has an identity crisis issue? You know what I'm saying? It's trying to be a sports anime, but it also is trying to be this romance between Outtro and Ibiki, and you kind of have to balance it out because these two things are kind of polar opposites. So this movie doesn't balance it out that well. But the movie itself is pretty interesting. I feel like from an animation standpoint, of animation and music, like it's freaking great. It's a spectacle. Black sugar, keep it up to the dawn. feels like something that you would really have to watch in a movie theater. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because honestly, just watching it on like I watched it on, you know, the screen in my living room because, you know, that's where my official Netflix, with the PS4 is where I watch Netflix at. So that's where I watched it on the TV. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, if you're watching on your cell phone or your laptop monitor, it doesn't really do it justice. I feel like this should be something that you should watch in a movie. This would be bananas in freaking IMAX. All right, in IMAX, this would literally be freaking ridiculous. And I feel like that's part of one of the problems with this movie is that they were expecting the you know, the visuals and the music and stuff to kind of carry this along with a little bit of the story, because the story is probably the biggest negative of this movie. The movie starts off kind of slow, you know what I'm saying, where the sports, the kind of like, you know, parkour story is there, and it starts off kind of slow, but, you know, by the time it gets into like the middle of the second act, it really does kind of pick up once, you know, you get to Outtro and you find out the secrets about her and the bubble fall, and it then picks up, you know what I'm saying? The characters aren't really that memorable outside of Outtro and Ibiki and Best Girl. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, the characters really aren't that memorable. Like, I mean, it really feels like this, the visuals and the story are a package deal, because if you're trying to go by just the story, like, you're not gonna get a lot here. You know what I'm saying? This movie pulls a lot of similarities from The Little Mermaid. No, not that freaking Disney version. I'm talking about the OG version where people die. Okay, no, the old Hans Christian Andersen version of The Little Mermaid. You know, and for a project that's this stacked, you know, you've got Tetsuya Araki, who did Attack on Titan and Death Note. You've got freaking Hiroyuki Sawano that did the music for freaking Attack on Titan. You got Gen Yorobuchi from Madoka Magica fame. You got Wit Studio. You know, you've got so much here. It just feels like I wish some more of that went to the story. You know, so as far as this movie, like, is it good? It's alright. I give it a C. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not gonna be coming for that Makoto Shinkai throne. You know, Makoto Shinkai is he alright. This movie ain't coming for that throne right now. You know what I'm saying? Your Name, Weathering with You, they still some of the top anime movies in the modern era of anime movies. They're pretty comfortable at the top. But this movie ain't too bad though. I would definitely say give it a try. You know what I'm saying? You might find more in it than I did. So all we gotta do now is wait for Bell, which we can't review until August because nobody wants to stream it digitally. That's just fun. I'm probably gonna have to pirate that sucker. But that's about it for this. Check out my streams. I'm streaming every weekend. And as always, people, keep it real. You know, so of course, do all that. You don't. Yep, you read the title. I'm gonna review the Wit Studios movie Bubble. Not the Bubble, but Bubble. Yes, Netflix marketing masters. No. Yep, you read the title right. You saw the thumbnail. I'm going to review the Wit Movio. Good God.